Welcome back, and it's time now for the Campaign Chronicles, France 24's regular countdown to the presidential elections. And our French politics editor, Mark Perelman, is here in the studio with the latest. Hi there, Mark.
Hi.
Now, here in Paris, President Sarkozy has been meeting with representatives of the Jewish and Muslim communities. The French president again reiterated his determination to catch the killer at that school massacre in Toulouse. Well, a joint march with both Jewish and Muslim communities will be organised this Sunday in Paris in memory of the victims. Well, as the country mourns those victims, politicians are struggling to figure out if they should put their presidential campaign on hold or not. So, Mark, the question is, campaign or no campaign?
Well, that's been the question. The two main candidates have indeed suspended their campaign because they say it's a national tragedy, so there should be a national mourning and people should grieve together. And so François Hollande took this position. He canceled his program yesterday. He canceled a big rally tonight in the western city of Rennes. Ditto, of course, for the president, who went yesterday to Toulouse. His website actually bears a black ribbon now in honor of the victim. This morning he went to a school in Paris where a minute of silence was done for the victims, and he met, as we saw, with the religious leaders. And tonight he went to Charles de Gaulle Airport near Paris because the bodies of the four victims of the school shootout were there, and there was a ceremony. And clearly, Nicolas Sarkozy grew very emotional. Let's take a listen to the presidents alongside the Prime Minister François Fillon.
Que voulez-vous dire?
What can I say? A grandfather who's lost all at once his son and two grandsons. Or a school headmaster who's had his daughter, only 8 years old, shot in the head at point-blank range. Who can accept that? No one.
So some people are arguing that François Hollande and Nicolas Sarkozy, while proclaiming they're not campaigning, are de facto campaigning. What they want to make sure is that they are not caught, not grieving for the families, that they don't open themselves, and that there shouldn't be any criticism for them not caring enough. So tomorrow they will both attend the funerals of the militaries who were killed previously and allegedly by the same gunman in the southern city of Montauban. François Hollande is following Nicolas Sarkozy. However, other candidates have decided not to suspend their campaign. On the far left, Nathalie Arthaud denounced the fake national unity. Also on the left, Jean-Luc Mélenchon thundered that it's an act of resistance, quote unquote, to continue campaigning against this act of barbarity. And finally, centrist leader François Bayrou actually held a rally yesterday night in Grenoble, and he used this to clearly say that what happened was linked to general atmosphere in France. Let's take a listen to François Bayrou.
Singling people out because of their presence in this country, or their origins, or their social situation, that fans passions like this, feelings like this.
The centrist leader François Bayrou speaking there, and I gather that's prompted some rather furious reaction.
Yes, and there you can see that the campaign is actually still going on because the normally unflappable foreign minister, Alain Juppé, who never uses strong words, reacted very strongly today to the words of François Bayrou. Let's take a listen to Alain Juppé.
It's horrible enough. Let's not debase the matter any further. We have to make sure that no one on any side tries to gain from this tragedy, which has nothing to do with the electoral campaign.
So Alain Juppé is clearly reacting to François Bayrou, but he's also reacting to the criticism that's been thrown at the Conservative Party for trying to go towards the far right and use some arguments. The Interior Minister Claude Guéant several weeks ago said that Islam was a lesser civilization than others, that there were too many immigrants in France. Then there was a controversy over the halal meat, the meat slaughtered according to Muslim rules. That became a whole story. And also the president himself, Nicolas Sarkozy, made a speech a year ago where he linked crime and immigration. So clearly the conservatives are very concerned that there could be criticism if indeed the killer is someone who was inspired by ideas that foreigners or people of foreign origins are not welcome in France.
All right, thank you very much indeed, Mark Perriman. Now, today is the first official day of the French presidential campaign. And now that the 10 candidates are in the starting blocks, new rules on how the media treat them have been announced. So it leaves the field wide open for smaller ones to express themselves, even if they're unknown to the wider public.
Est-ce que vous connaissez cet homme?
Non, du tout, non.
Non, pas du tout.
Non.
They may not know who he is, but from this Tuesday, Jacques Cheminade is officially a candidate, just as serious as the big contenders.
That's democracy. Once he's got the 500 signatures, that's the law.
Voilà, c'est la loi.
That's democracy then, and in France, democracy is jealously guarded. Strict media rules now mean that TV and radio stations must give balanced coverage of all 10 that are in the running. So every soundbite from one candidate has to be matched by one for every other rival, and each presidential wannabe is guaranteed the same airtime. And that's proving more than just a headache for France's news-only networks.
This rule is obsolete. It's not fair on the viewer, and it goes against the idea of being a journalist. We end up working like accountants.
The idea is to ensure small candidates such as Cheminade aren't drowned out. But the situation risks creating a paradox. The closer the election gets, the less news channels can talk about the vote.
This is based on an idea that isn't very logical, giving equal airtime to people who represent real political movements and others who just represent themselves.
As candidates, big and small, face the new media reality, some are looking for alternatives to get their message across. They may not have to look far. The written press and internet aren't included in the rules.
Well, that brings us up to date with all the goings-on in the build-up to the French elections. Thank you very much indeed to our French politics editor, Mark Perriman. Remember, you can follow the entire presidential campaign through our mini websites, which are dedicated to the elections. All the latest information, shows and analysis there online. And you can participate too in the polls and see what's coming up on the social networks. You can also discover all our journalist blogs here on France 24. Well, that's all we've got time for. Thanks for watching. Do stay tuned.